Welcome to the channel. Please listen to our news today. Prince Harry is doomed. A big slap that hit Harry hard. He was humiliated. Prince Harry was allowed to wear his military uniform for the grandchildren's vigil of the Queen's coffin last Saturday, but reportedly expressed deep unhappiness at not being able to wear the same attire as his brother, the working royal Prince William. A royal commentator has criticized Prince Harry for telling the media, via a friend, he was heartbroken with his military uniform during the Queen's vigil because the decision was not rooted not in discrimination but official royal procedures. Harry, according to a source close to the estranged prince, complained that he had not been given the epaulette on his shoulder, which is the initials of the Queen, Elizabeth Regina, despite having served in Afghanistan. But Mr. Eden said the decision had been in keeping with procedure, suggesting that when Harry quit his royal duties, he had forfeited his right to wear the insignia. Mr. Eden said, "We read in the papers the next day that Prince Harry had been desperately unhappy. Now, the reason for this, obviously he should have been thrilled he was allowed to wear a uniform, but when his uniform was delivered, it did not have the epaulettes on the shoulder that Prince William had. People were saying, oh, it is terrible. It is an example of him being badly treated. But what it was, you only get these if you are an aide-de-camp of the Queen, and he lost that role, so others, like Prince Andrew or Prince William, still had that role up until the Queen's death. Whereas Harry lost that, along with everything else." Responding to the idea that that distinction would have been lost on the public, journalist Andrew Pearce said, "But how did his unhappiness get into the public domain? Was it put into the public domain by a source close to Prince Harry? Indeed it was. So, carping and moaning 24 hours, 36 hours before the Queen's funeral I thought was the wrong time. If he was unhappy about that, there was another time and a place for that. As Richard had just pointed out, there was a very good reason for it, and if he had just picked up the phone to someone, they could have explained it to him. But, instead, it seems, somebody picked up the phone to a friend, a source. I think we all probably know who that one is, and hence the story appears in the Sunday papers. Harry unhappy again. Prince Harry, despite serving in the army for 10 years and being deployed to Afghanistan twice, had not been allowed to wear his ceremonial uniform for the majority of engagements after Queen Elizabeth's death. That right was lost when he quit royal duties in 2020 and settled in California with Meghan Markle and now his young family. The ban was lifted, however, for the Queen's vigil, held at Westminster Hall last Saturday, 2 days before the funeral, but the epaulette was not reinstated. The move split public opinion, with commentator Piers Morgan branding the move churlish. Reports also suggested Harry nearly decided to wear the mourning suit instead of the military uniform, despite the special privilege, to avoid humiliation. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please support the channel with a subscription. Thank